ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of Lads Debate. Croc and Towering is your only mate.
I mean, it's not very fitting you say that about me, considering what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I just realised that was my mistake, but I'm not too familiar with Persona, you should know that.
True.
But someone you won't see coming is Shawnee.
Hey.
Mate, just blend in within the masquerade before you become a shapeshifter.
And you've heard this evil chuckling in the background. Coming in for the guest appearance that we mentioned is the first ever bro for Lads Debate, and the first Lads versus Bro ever topic, I guess. We got ZDogg.
Lads debate. Because we're lads debating.
That was actually a pretty good Squidward laugh.
Thank you. I've had years of practice, so I can do it at the drop of a hat.
Yeah. But yeah, so thanks to ZDogg for coming in, because this was actually a Lads debate you requested, and when we offered the episodes, well, I think I offered two. It was this one. I try to remember what the other one was, but you just immediately went for this one.
I think it was Cassidy versus McCree. Hold on. Let me double check real quick.
Well, either one.
Believe it or not.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I still got to work on getting the video up, but I actually did a collab with one of his buddies, Griffers, and we talked about this matchup in particular because we were discussing doing it for Lads Debate, and he told me a little bit of the theming of it. Like, these two, in a way, are struggling artists, but that's all he really was able to talk about between these two.
Yeah, I had a feeling it had something to do with art, given the fact. But I guess I should probably say the episode. Yeah, we are doing. Forgive me, people, if I butcher this. Yusuke.
I can always say if you want.
Yeah, mate. Why don't you say the first name, and I'll say the other half.
Yusuke Kitagawa from Persona 5.
It's taken on Squidward Tentacles from SpongeBob. But before we get to this episode, though, we almost had another tie. The last Lads Debate, Link versus Chosen Undead, Link won by 3%. It's 53 to Link and 47 for Chosen Undead. This was tied for days. This was tied.
My goodness.
This was tied for so many days.
I think, unironically, Bill, if you're able to pull up the original community post, I think this is the same exact percentage, or it just got slightly closer.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know. I think the closest Lads Debate poll we've had was Nemesis versus Adam and Yang versus Bakugo Blaze Blue version and Jump Force version. I could be wrong about that. It's been a while since we've looked at those polls, but Jesus, like it's crazy because, to be honest, even now it's like I still say Chosen Link should win, but I guess like it is still rather debatable depending on what you give these guys. Like we gave Chosen Undead, like, you know, the Dark Souls 3 form, the Soulless Cinder. And the comments we got from Reese, this is a really close debate, but from what both of you said, I had to give it to Link. While Chosen Undead may have power on his side, but Link has the experience, speed, arsenal that could put the Chosen Undead down for good. But overall, really great debate from both of you, nothing less, especially with how much stuff there is for both of them. You two really put your souls into it. Hey. And that is true, like...
I'm pretty glad none of them went dark.
Like, because it was true, like, when you really look into the entire arsenal, like... I think if you were to give, like, power and speed and say they were even, I think Link just had more opportunities with his magic over Chosen Undead.
Yeah, that was the real killer when it came to arsenal. It was just specifically magic.
I'm still just proud of that dumb edit I made.
Like, I think
You're a wizard, Link.
That was good.
Like, I do think if without the magic, though, it's like it's a really hard guess at that point. And then from Fireball RKO, very close episode. However, I agree that Link wins 51 and Chosen Undead 49. I mean, you were kind of close on how the poll would have ended up. Great debate from both of you. I can imagine the headaches you both went through for this. Next time, I mean, really, I'm pretty familiar with Dark Souls, so it's like yeah, I had to look into more abilities that even I wasn't familiar with. I did try and find some sort of time stopper ability, but there might have been one there. There's a lot of spells to go through, but as far as I've seen, that none of the Dark Souls games, not even newer Souls games, have any like time stopping ability. What about you, mate? Did you find researching in Zelda and Link difficult?
I mean, I'm pretty familiar with it, so it wasn't too hard. Also, like, having Link in a more modern death battle episode definitely helped with certain stuff. But then there was just, like, looking up the stuff I didn't know.
Wow, what an imbecile. I actually played Dark Souls.
Okay.
To be fair, both these two have a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for real.
speaking of characters with a lot of shit, yeah, so our first guest episode, at least with Lads Debate becoming like it. Well, we had Purple. I tend to forget the Undying Dimitri episode. That again, everyone seems to want to forget that episode.
Shots fired!
I'm sorry, Purple, if you're watching this. That episode, looking back on it, is perhaps one of our weakest episodes. I think most people on the server also agreed with that.
And I wasn't on it.
That was the problem.
See, that's why. It's because Mate wasn't on. Mate makes everything better, clearly.
Yeah, if Mate was on there, the episode would have been like certified Chad.
It would have been the most viewed episode of all time.
We would have had 20 million subscribers. We would have been on the Mr. Beast games. Oh wait, we would have been sued. Damn it!
Oh gosh. Anyway.
Alright, but yeah, so this guest episode, and it's kind of fitting though, because ZDogg was technically the first ever person to be on a Lads Debate. He was our first ever judge. Yeah, it was Sizzle versus
I was the judge. Yep, the original Scissor Heracross. I was there. I was in history in the making. And now I get to get my hands dirty a bit. So this is gonna be fun.
He witnessed the birth of Lads Debate.
Oh god.
But
and look how far it's come. Look how far it's come. Look at all the progress y'all have made. It's good. It's good to see.
We even got our own custom thumbnail now. We're not just stealing Death Battles one.
Yeah, there you go.
Speaking of though, I guess it's finally time. Let us start this Lads Debate of perhaps, I would say, our most bizarre episode. But we had Tank versus Chainsaw Larry last year, so this one's a little bit more logical, we'll say.
A little bit. I mean, I will say, yeah, there is the. I mean, I will kind of elaborate because I know I did suggest it. Yeah, it is mostly like a struggling artist thing, but also just. I don't know. They want to flex their artistic skills, but also they worked under a crotchety, kind of money-hungry old man and stuff. And they have superhero. They basically have superhero alter egos. There you go. Hopefully, that elaborates on this a little bit more.
With opposing elements.
With opposing elements, exactly. See?
Well.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a weird one, but I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I suggested it for a reason, so we'll see.
Yeah, fair enough. So, to start off this year's first guest episode, we shall give the dance floor to your only mate, representing Yusuke. I'm pretty sure I said that name wrong, but
Yusuke.
You're a Yusuke!
Oh, no.
But anyway, yes, your only mate, would you like to have the first 10 minutes talking about Yusuke?
Oh.
Hang on.
That way we could prep ZDogg to get his saying ready for Squidward, because Squidward does actually have a lot more than people probably expect.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, ready.
Alright. Oh, can I do the countdown? I have a funny pun.
Why not? I'll let you have the honors.
Alright. Mate, you ready?
Sure.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, Goemon!
Nice. Alright, so Yusuke never knew his biological dad and lost his mother when he was about 3 years old. Yep, that's how I'm starting this off. But he was taken in by a famed Japanese artist by the name of Madarame, who would raise him, and it's also tied to how he got his passion for art. Starting with the piece that would actually inspire him to pursue becoming an artist, the Sayuri. Upon seeing this, he was captivated by her beauty and, wanted to become an artist himself. But there was a lot of controversy surrounding Madarame, which he did not take very kindly to.
Shocker! Online media want to cancel an artist.
However, upon meeting the likes of Randomamia and the rest of his crew, it turns out those rumors weren't rumors at all, and they were actually true.
Audible gasp.
Yep, Madarame plagiarized his pupils, selling off their art pieces as his own, and subjected them to abuse, one of whom took his own life.
I'm just going to pause the time to make this joke. At least he didn't invest in AI art.
I was going to make an AI art joke, gosh dang it.
You get
Sad
one, Madarame.
I feel like Madarame absolutely would.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
If this game came out before then yeah, he totally would have done like AI art. Anyway, I'm going to resume timing now just before I make that joke.
Alright. And so, Yusuke awakened to his persona, Goemon, and joined the Phantom Thieves, codename Fox.
The Cloud?
So, he might not be doing barrel rolls, but he is a valuable asset to the team. With his katana and plethora of ice magic, he has no problem freezing shadows and slicing them into oblivion. He also wields assault rifles, which, keep in mind, while it's merely a prop in the human world, where they do combat in the metaverse, these guns and his swords become god killers. Because that's exactly how the Phantom Thieves were perceived, and he would actually take on the manifestation of said deities. All while riding around in a cat that's also a car. Just another day in Japan.
Only in Persona. And only in Persona.
Yeah.
I feel like...
But he also picked up some other skills along the way, including a grappling hook and other accessories to help out, like the Omnipotent Orb, which literally rewrites the universe to protect him.
Say what now?
Yep, that's a thing. However, while he was fighting shadows, he also found himself in quite the slump. While he was still pursuing his dream of becoming an artist, he found that his heart felt clouded. He couldn't view certain concepts like beauty or desire like the same way anymore. But with the help of his friends, he was able to get through it and painted this. He calls it Desire and Hope.
More like deserves the trash.
Sorry, I must have missed that one.
Art's up to interpretation.
Look, we're doing an episode with Squidward. I had to do the joke.
Anyway, Yusuke would go on to overcome a whole bunch of corrupt authority figures, including a Yakuza boss, a corrupt businessman, a crooked politician. I imagine a lot of us would love to see one of those go down.
On a daily basis.
Yeah. So much so, he eventually took on the god of control, Yelda Bioff, who was able to fuse both the real world and the metaverse together. Then there was Maruki, who was able to rewrite the universe to fit his desires. Also forgot to send this.
Love the art picture.
Yeah, that's like his finishing move. But probably the single most significant takedown for him was Madarame himself. See, how the Phantom Thieves would change the heart of somebody is steal their treasure. And, Bill, I want you to take another look at Sayuri.
Yes.
Yeah. That is altered. Madarame's treasure was the original Sayuri.
Damn. Sick bastard.
That being a former pupil of his who knew her time was short and wanted to paint a portrait of her with her son. Have you pieced it together yet?
I feel as though I'm a bit annoyed, but at the same time, I don't know when I was ever going to play Persona myself, so I feel I was going to get spoiled on some things eventually with the lads debate.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably.
So,
I mean, you know how the
for
game
those
wraps up.
So for those that don't understand, mate, do you want to reveal the twist? I mean, I'm already showing the picture.
Sayuri is actually his own mother.
Small world.
Yeah, that was the reason behind her expression. Like, the love between her son, but the grief knowing that soon she would have to depart this world and never even see him grow up.
And we, for once, have a Persona character with a happy story. No, I tried.
Unfortunately, she would come to have a seizure, and Madarame did nothing. Just let it happen. Took Sayuri, added the cloud, adopted Yusuke, and no one suspected him.
Yeah. Persona 5's dark. You couldn't tell.
I guess you could say, given his code name, his life is pretty Grey Fox.
God damn it. Clever.
But, with his resolve reignited, and with the help of the Phantom Thieves, he was able to take back Sayuri and make Madarame, along with multiple criminals, confess to their sins. And ultimately prove that you can never be too young to change society for the better. If the man is ever keeping you down, call up the Phantom Thieves. They'll never see it coming.
Hey.
I guess, and that's where you want to end on, because that's a good one to end on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, he's a pretty cool character, I won't lie. Just from the analysis and how he described it, it's like, it's making me maybe getting closer to pressing the purchase button on my Steam account. Close, but no spacebar.
One day.
Alright then.
One day.
One day on the channel.
Alright.
That'll probably be the biggest announcement on the channel when I say, hey, I'm finally playing Persona.
Exactly.
But then I have a hot take.
Alright.
Persona's mid.
Yeah,
Wait, people, before you hit the dislike button, I've not played it yet. Please, I'm just joking.
And all your subscribers are gone now. Congratulations.
You've got negative 20 subscribers now. One of them's Birdie. She betrayed.
I'm just picturing that shot from South Park when Kyle Late watches his Facebook friend count go down, and he's like, "Oh shit!" as keyboard. That's Bill.
Oh god.
Exactly.
Right then, so ZDogg, are you ready to represent perhaps the most relatable SpongeBob character as we've got older?
As ready as I'll ever be. Let's do this.
And away you go. Beep.
The beautiful undersea depths of Bikini Bottom, a place where the undersea wildlife thrives. In this majestic aquatic atmosphere, you will find several lovely creatures living their normal lives. But for one of these creatures, he might not find these creatures so lovely. The grumpy cephalopod who lives in a moe rock. A moe made of volcanic rock. You may know him best, though, as Squidward Tortellini. No. He is actually named Squidward Tentacles. And, surprise, I'm doing it too.
I just want to quickly pause the timer.
Finally, someone else does it!
I'm sorry, mate. I'm editing like 3 videos a day. I'm sorry I can't commit to this sort of skit. Also, just for that intro alone,
I knew my
ZDogg,
opponent.
Yeah. Just for this intro alone, ZDogg, you get golf claps.
Thank you. Well, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm just saying you've already won my vote. Not really. Let's hear the rest. And continue.
Exactly. All right. Having a great taste for the fine arts such as painting and playing music on his clarinet, despite the rough sound of him playing it, just trying to enjoy his life and spread his artistic wings. Unfortunately, that can be extremely difficult due to their neighbors, SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick Star, who tend to annoy him on an extremely frequent basis. His job's boss, Eugene Krabs, owner of the Krusty Krab, and basically whoever else he comes across usually. But whenever he needs to unwind, he has his trusty clarinet to... Actually, I should probably put this first. Where is it there? Okay. But whenever he needs to unwind, he has his trusty clarinet to play and perform for the world, even if the world doesn't want to hear it, because his music tends to be so utterly atrocious that it tends to cause physical damage to those around him, from causing heart attacks, making you lose your skin, causing depression or drowsiness, to even being able to make buildings crumble to dust and creating sound waves that push people back and creating tornadoes to blow people away. Well, not literally, not figuratively. Lord knows he's not doing that. Yeah, it's extremely versatile in combat and can cause damage to both the living and the dead. Yeah, even the Flying Dutchman and a Ghost Plankton were able to hear the music. But that's not all, because he can also use the clarinet to transform into one of his superhero alter egos known as the Sour Note. This form not only makes him buff as fuck, but amplifies any music he plays a lot. But that's not the only hobby he partakes in. He also likes to dabble in gardening from time to time. And for that, he has his handy bottle of Kelp Grow, which not only helps him making plants grow big and strong, but it also works on objects such as ice cream, shoes, and even himself, allowing him to grow to the size of a kaiju, which towers over those in Bikini Bottom. However, this will wear off after about a day. There's also times where he tries to be a good Samaritan and tries to help SpongeBob and a sick Gary by trying to stick a shot of snail plasma to cure Gary, only to hit SpongeBob himself. It's fine though, Gary only needed some water. But unfortunately, when used on non-snail creatures, it has a deadly effect, that being mutating them into a snail themselves. Unfortunately, this obviously includes himself if he were to get injected by it.
That episode still haunts me.
Yeah, it's
Didn't the original come out around Halloween?
It did, yeah.
No, it was packaged with the Halloween episode, the first Halloween episode, so... Which, hey, can't say it's not fitting. Alright. Okay, these transitions are getting harder to connect to weaponry, but he also had access to SpongeBob and Patrick's life insurance, which, when in possession, gives him extremely good luck in avoiding harmful situations. Literally meaning that he can't take physical damage and anything harmful avoids them, such as lightning clouds striking others around them, instead or barely avoiding getting hit by a car.
Wait,
He has his
own incompetent orb?
Kind of. It's weird. In a way, yes. Although I think he did. I mean, I'm giving it to him, but like, it's weird. But in a way, yes.
All right, yeah, continue. I just had to pause the timer because I had to kind of be like, I don't remember this.
It's from one of the newer episodes, so I don't blame you.
Fair enough.
That explains a lot, actually.
Yeah.
All right, resuming timer. I just had to comment on that.
All good. Even if it doesn't, it still gives you insane luck in avoiding that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, he also has the funny pies, except they're not pies. They're bombs. They blow up. Of course, I had to reference that. And apparently one superhero form wasn't enough. he also has his Captain Magma suit. Get angry and he's bound to erupt. But even without the Captain Magma suit, I wouldn't be messing with this squid when he's angry, which happens a lot more often than you may think thanks to SpongeBob and Patrick. When he's angry, he's usually a force to be reckoned with, usually making a giant mess of everything and destroying everything in his wake. But it isn't all bad, because sometimes not only does it give him laser eyes at one point, but while driving, he got so mad that he healed his wounds that were already there. I would question things, but knowing what series I'm discussing, this adds up. And considering how much he gets through while dealing with SpongeBob, Patrick, and whatever the world throws at him, he could use any help with healing he could get. However, considering how much he can survive already, he might be more fine than you may think. The hell was that? Sorry, outside noise. He's been beaten to a pulp, had his limbs stretched way further than they should have been attacked by many sea creatures, including bullworms, the sea bear, and numerous jellyfish stings, been burned to pretty well done, been frozen to a block of ice, and survived an unhealthy amount of explosions. But not only that, but like I said, he's also had to deal with fellow neighbors SpongeBob and Patrick a lot, which often comes in having to deal with them and their shenanigans, such as when he endured a previously mentioned pie bomb to the face alongside SpongeBob. But also when he was there when he had... I need to take a breath.
I also want to add SpongeBob likes to sneak into Squidward's bathroom while he's bathing.
Yeah, that's that's pretty unpleasant, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love you. SpongeBob, I love you, but why?
Can we get him onto the sex offender database?
Oh no. Anyway, but he was also there when he had sucked up all the ocean with his reef blower and had it explode in both their faces, leading to a planetary explosion, which they both took with relative ease. However, this pales in... Oh wait, no shoot. I just realized I didn't post the last one. There you go. Stop time. However, that pales in comparison to when SpongeBob straight up unraveled the universe with a singular string, straight up unwinding all of space around it, which would not only have to be extremely impressive to do strength-wise, but also would make him unbelievably fast. Are you laughing at the image I chose for the...
I'm laughing at the tiny text at the bottom, survived Omni-Man.
Omni-Man Android Mustang. I love SpongeBob meme videos.
Yeah, they're gold. Anyway, you got 2 minutes left.
Alright, cool. Alright, SpongeBob... Alright. I'll just reread that then. However, that pales in comparison to when SpongeBob straight up unraveled the universe with a singular string. Straight up unwinds all of space around it, to where there's nothing left, which would not only have to be extremely impressive to do strength-wise, but would also make him unbelievably fast. But that's not the only time... But that's not the only showcase of this strength in the SpongeBob universe, as SpongeBob himself also faced off against Madame Cassandra and beat her and her cosmic jelly goons. And she had the power to reshape the universe alongside her cosmic jelly. Not to mention, there's also Patrick, who survived being sucked into a black hole, which he Not to mention, there's also Patrick, who survived being sucked into a black hole, which he survived and took him to another universe. Not to mention being capable of running to the sun and back. Squidward himself was also able to not only preoccupy the same space at a singular time, but also after breaking a time machine and ending up in an infinite void of nothingness, he was able to run and move so fast he looped throughout the entire world. Like I said, I would question this, but it's no use. But no matter who gets in his way of relaxing and enjoying the arts, Squidward will always be there for some nautical nonsense, even if it's not something he wishes.
That's a good summary of his life.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, and we're done.
Alright, and so you guys have got 20 minutes to...
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I will say, ZDogg, in terms of showmanship, I think you definitely win against mate on that. Sorry, mate.
Oh.
Nah, I didn't
Yeah,
even think about doing the narrator voice. So
ZDogg's
Not
been
that Persona has
prepping, my
one.
guy. He's been prepping.
So depending on whoever wins the convincing argument, it's like ZDogg won in showmanship. It's just like Megamind meme. You're a verse debater, alright, but not a super one. What's the difference? Presentation!
Presentation, exactly.
You just come out
I
with-
knew I had to do the.
It's
I
just-
knew I had to do the analysis slides, considering I was against Maid. I wanted to match that in some way.
now, if there's ever a reason I should lose, it's for like saying Yusuke's surname wrong at the beginning.
Yeah.
I got his mixed up with Risei's.
I mean, at least you can actually say his name, I'll give you that. I mean, I can't. Anyway.
Exactly.
So you guys have got 20 minutes. Are you ready for this? Probably a closer episode than I was expecting. just from the footnotes. I do have 2 important questions I'll ask after each 5 minutes, so I'm sure Sean has a few of his own.
Alright.
Alright then.
Mate, you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
Alright, good luck.
3, 2, 1, fight!
Alright. First thing, I'm just gonna get this out there. For how the fight would start, Yusuke would think that Squidward's just awful. Like, all the art pieces he does are of himself.
Yeah.
Like, he's a sinner of vanity, so it would absolutely start the same way that Joker Giorno did.
Oh, yeah.
Squidward Tentacles, your heart is twisted.
Oh, God. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, because Yusuke can fight universe busters, and also a being who can merge worlds together, and it sounds like Squidward encountered something similar.
Well, SpongeBob did, and I think it's pretty fair to say they're comparable, considering how often they have to, like, keep up with his shenanigans. So, yeah, I'd say that it's pretty equivalent, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the snail plasma thing I want to comment on. The Phantom Thieves have dealt with transmutation before.
Mm-hmm.
In one of the last palaces, they get turned into mice.
Oh, yeah. No.
But they still have the masks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But of course, they still have like full sentience and like control over those forms.
I'm just picturing Yusuke still fighting as a snail.
He just says meow instead of Goemon.
That can happen in a previous palace. Like, you just get turned into a mouse, but it's pretty much like a status condition. It'll just naturally recover in like a little bit.
All right.
Well, I had that happen to Morgana, and I thought it was ironic.
Oh gosh. Okay. I guess. Well, okay. I'll let you go if you had anything else, mate. I don't want
to. I also did think the Captain Magma stuff, because he can literally shoot lava out of his head, might be an issue.
Yeah.
Because Yusuke's persona is weak to fire, but he also learns passive skills that can like help evade fire, and also the Omnipotent Orb would just protect against that. But since it sounds like Squidward has something similar, those should cancel each other out.
Yeah, I was gonna say the life insurance thing. Like, it basically lets him avoid any I mean, yeah, like I said, there was like a bunch of damage, and like he just avoid getting hit. And I don't know, that could just be a pure luck thing, but like, I don't know, I think that's pretty consistent. Like pretty equivalent. So
does Squidward have anything like almighty magic from Persona? Because that's the only thing that can get past the Omnipotent Orb.
What does Almighty do again? Remind me.
It's just an attack that bypasses all defenses.
Okay.
Thing is, it comes from like gods. Is the thing?
Yeah, exactly. That I'm not sure, but like, I mean, I'm trying to think. No, I don't think. I'm trying to think of it. Or anything that I can't think of any off the top of my head. But like, okay, if you don't mind, I'm gonna flip the flip the tables a little bit, because I also want to ask, like, oh, that is not the other go. Like, I mentioned like Squidward surviving like a lot of things, and like, is there like really anything that Yusuke has that could put Squidward down? Because like that's really the main thing I see, like each other taking each other down. So I'm curious, like, what you got for Yusuke that could maybe take.
Well, aside from, I guess, just, fighting people that are capable of, using attacks like the Big Bang Burger, which is a nebula-sized burger which explodes with the force of the Big Bang.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus, imagine that coming out.
That's what happens with McDonald's and a Taco Bell crossover.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Not inaccurate, though.
No, exactly.
No, it's like that line from Donkey in Shrek 4. I go down smooth, but I come out fighting.
Alright, I tell you what.
Exactly.
So the first 5 minutes are up. I actually want to ask this question. This has something to do with the orb and the life insurance thing.
Yeah.
Mate, this orb, where is it mostly kept? Is it like just on him at person, or does it need to be somewhere else and it will still work for him?
It's an accessory that Persona characters can get, and you can get more than one. Well, actually, I think you do get one in each game, but you can give it to whoever you want, so there is a chance that Yusuke can have it.
Okay. And ZDogg, the life insurance thing, does Squidward need to have that on person for it to affect him?
Yes, that's the thing.
Okay, so...
Yeah, because the freaking SpongeBob and Patrick both gave it to Squidward, so...
Yeah.
Oh, both of them kind of need it on their person.
Yeah. Well, this is what's going to go to my next question, though. Mate, is it possible for the orb to be taken away by, like, any sort of, like, characters?
I don't think so.
Okay, then, and ZDogg, can the life insurance thing be taken away from Squidward at any point?
That I will say, like, I think SpongeBob took it from him, like, before, like, because he was, like, going to go, like, on an insane obstacle course, and he just took it from him.
Okay.
So.
Alright, resume the timer. You both got 15 minutes.
Okay. I actually do want to bring up a more important thing that you may think. The clarinet. I mentioned a lot of things that could be done with the clarinet. Does like I said, hold on, I'll go back. Like removing your skin, giving you a heart attack, depression or drowsiness, and even disintegrating people. Like, would that be like, how likely do you think Yusuke would be to avoid that? Like things like that.
Well, he can dodge Lucifer's Morning Star, which is like over 8 million times faster than light.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a star being launched from space directly at you.
Yeah.
By Lucifer himself.
Fair. I mean, I do think Squidward is more comparable in speed than you may think, but like, that's still like, that's kind of an area of effect. It like, because like, you know, it like gets everywhere around you. Like everyone, like his music can like have like a very wide range, like of effect. So,
although Yusuke has spells that can hit all foes, so that's also like a wide area, and
okay,
I believe, yeah, it also has a chance of inflicting freeze.
Freaking free. Okay. Well, I mean,
and wait, wasn't there a SpongeBob episode where Squidward got like frozen for 3,000 years?
Yes. Yeah, there was. But I mean, okay, this is just SpongeBob being an inconsistent cartoon. Because like other times, like he's been frozen. Like there's the one where the Krusty Krab got frozen. It's just he froze. Like, I mean, he did freeze, but like he was still fine. So.
Yeah, he just woke up 3,000 years later and met SpongeTron.
Just exactly.
Everything's chrome in the future.
Everything's chrome in the future.
Future.
Yeah.
Lads, debate. How many Squidward memes do you want in this video? Yes.
All of them. Exactly.
All of them? All of them.
I would also I did mention it, the clarinet also works on like ghosts, like Flying Dutchman and a Ghost Plankton. So there's
So,
also
I guess that could damage the Persona too. But I mean, they've also been damaged by like other stuff anyway. So
yeah. Actually, there is a funny argument I want to bring up that a friend of mine we were talking about before this. There's a thing. I don't think I've gotten quite there yet, but there is a thing in Persona 5 where, like, if the Phantom Thieves lose willpower, it will severely weaken their personas, right?
I believe that happens like. I mean, it happens like near the end of the Yolda Bio fight, but then they get a recharge.
Okay. Good. Yeah. For the record, I'm only on the fourth. I'm like the Okumura Palace, so I haven't got that.
Right. But it's like a mix of like the social links and like the public's view of them.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say because I did mention Squidward. It causes either depression or drowsiness, like the funny meme of like Patrick falling asleep instantly. So maybe that could also come into play. Like, I mean, it might not be for long, but that could be enough.
That sounds comparable to like status conditions in Persona, because I know one of them is like fear.
I can.
And whatnot, and there are items that can just. There are items that can just cure status conditions. So he could just pop one of those and then be good.
The thing with the sleep condition is you can't really use items when your character's asleep. You have to wait till they wake up before you can take an action or use an item.
Okay.
Fair enough. But then again, it sounds like they're both like as comparable to each other.
Yeah, they're comparable enough.
That might not be as big a window as you might think.
Yeah. Honestly, I think just the problem here is that like, I think it's just how does either put the other down? That's just the main thing.
That's the fun part. They don't.
They don't exactly.
Because Omnipotent Orb and life insurance go burr.
Exactly. Oh god.
I want to ask an interesting question, if I can do this so real quick.
Go for it.
I'll pause the timer.
Mate, in Palace number 2, when you in Madarami's palace, I should specify. Yusuke and Co were able to go inside paintings. Would he just theoretically trap Squidward in a painting?
Ooh.
I have a funny story actually, because there was actually a time in Atlantis Square Pantis, I think, where Squidward was literally thrown into a painting and he was just fine.
Well, actually, I do want to make a point though, is that those are paintings that you can just willingly go in and out of. They're basically like doors.
It's the same thing with the Persona Palace.
Oh, fair enough,
I was going to say.
Although they're also kind of a... They're also presented as kind of a maze, but like given how knowledgeable Yusuke is of art, he's able to navigate through them no problem.
I still had a rough time with that one anyway.
Alright, resume the timer. You've only got 10 minutes left, and I have one more question when we get to the 5-minute mark.
Alright. I'm trying to think what else. Is there anything?
I did think about the kelp growth being a factor, like in turning kaiju, but that could also just make him a bigger target.
That is true.
Is the other side of that sword?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Also, like, Yusuke does have, like, one edge I can think of, and that's the fact that he can buff his own stats and even debuff Squidward's. Like, he can up his own attack, lower Squidward's, or, like, do the same with defense and evasiveness.
That is true. Actually, hold on. I don't think I brought it up, but I think there might be a thing of, like, I think it's in the comics of, like, being able to erase memories, I think. I don't think I had the time to look into it, but like I think there was like an episode where, like he tried to erase SpongeBob's mind, and I think it worked. So,
I mean, that's kind of similar to what Maruki did. He like rewrote the universe, and like all the Phantom Thieves thought like they were existing in that reality. And they were able to like realize, no, this is all wrong. This isn't what happened. And eventually defeat him.
Okay. Let's see. Can I look at?
This is more complicated than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I know, right? I was really, I was not expecting this.
That's another reason because I kind of figured this would be a bit closer than you may think. Oh, what's he gonna do against handsome Squidward? No, I'm kidding.
Squidward wins.
Argument.
Squidward wins.
Now, you know what? You just be like, huh, I now have an idea for my next painting after I'm done with this.
There you go. That's how the fight is. Oh my gosh.
After winning, he just paints handsome Squidward and puts him on an art museum, and Squidward gets immortalized in a painting.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. I don't
know, that just came to my head, and I thought, oh, that's
yeah, no, that's great. That's
if
great.
he wins.
Yeah, I think the problem we're just having here is that like it seems like you can argue for them to be in a similar range of like power and speed. I will stand by I think Squidward being a lot Squidward. Okay, without the life insurance and the omnipotent orb, I will say I do think Squidward is the more durable of the two.
I could see that, and admittedly, Yusuke doesn't have healing spells, so you could also just bring in items for that, which in the real world are just like, like medicine.
Medicine, exactly. Literal medicine. Thanks to Kemi. Yeah. I will say I will give Yusuke having a greater level of experience at least. That's anything. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he fights shadows with the Phantom Thieves for like about a year or so.
Yeah. I was gonna say a lot.
But then again, how long does Squidward actually fight?
He's done it a few times. I mean, he did actually. There was an episode where he took a karate class from Sandy, so he does know a bit of karate, if that's anything. So, I mean, he can get in scraps every once in a while. It's not as... I don't know. It's not as common as Yusuke, I will say that, but, like... I don't know. I mean, I think just the amount of... I guess Squidward's gone on wackier adventures and seen a lot more weird stuff, but like...
I mean, being SpongeBob's neighbor, you would have to.
Exactly.
Well, since we're approaching the last 5 minutes, I'm going to pause it for this last question. I find out this was in case they were even in stats, and, well, they turns out are. And funny enough, mate kind of brought this up. So in terms of, like, Persona's, like, abilities, because it is a JRPG after all, so characters have the ability to not only just damage foes, they can also heal with items, but status effects. What kind of status effects could right, I forgot his name.
Yusuke.
Yusuke do?
So we can lower his opponent's like attack, defense, accuracy, and evasion. He can inflict freeze, which does have a chance with any of his ice magic. I believe that's pretty much all of them.
Right.
Well, I don't think accuracy and evasion will only get you so far, and I mean, again, Squidward's like mostly fine with freezing stuff, so with handling stuff like that.
Alright, so just going to resume timer. 5 minutes remain, and then you two will get 1 minute to give one more argument.
Alright. Honestly, I honestly think the best case scenario. Actually, I was gonna say I'm going back to the clarinet real quick because I mentioned that had the ability to like crumble buildings to dust. Would Yusuke have anything against that?
I mean, again, he survived like the Big Bang.
Yeah, but like, again,
I mean, he's also like when the Phantom Thieves faced, I forget his name. There's this giant piggy bank that they knock over, which is over 62,000 tons.
It was
Yeah, him.
Shiro. Yeah. Shiro, yeah, I hate that boss. But
I mean, all the bosses in that game are terrible people.
Oh yeah.
Well, except for one, who I won't say.
Exactly. I didn't bring it up, but I was thinking also about like maybe like if there's anything like healing items. Like there are like I don't know if he would get them. I didn't put them down just in case, but there are Krabby Patties, which I know like in SpongeBob Aquaman, we're said to like heal people and stuff and like bring them back to like peak physical shape. So
True, actually. Although there's also that episode where Squidward gets addicted to them.
Yeah.
And to the point where he like they go to his thighs. Yeah, exactly.
And then you'll blow up.
I remember my first Krabby Patty.
Exactly. Oh, actually, yeah, I forgot that because that actually might be accounted to the status buffs as well if we want to give it to him. Because there was the episode, the Merry Man Barnacle Boy episode where like, it wore off the mind control.
Right, but I don't know if that's the same as getting your like attack or defense lowered.
Okay.
Well, considering it stated that it gets them back to their peak physical shape, I would argue yes.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's.
Why do these two have things that cancel each other out?
Because of course they do.
Because thank you. That's why.
You're the one who made the matchup. Why are you saying him?
No.
Yeah, this is on you, ZDogg.
I know. Well, that's why. Are we having fun? Is this a close debate? Yes. That's why he suggested it.
Well, let's just say.
Squared.
Let's just say it's 2 minutes left. I've actually got my verdict. So for the last 2 minutes, mate, you will have the first minute to represent your character for a minute, and then ZDogg, you will too. Alright then. Mate, go ahead.
And I'm just setting my timer. Okay, and I'm ready.
Oh, I've already started.
Okay,
Improvise.
go. Alright, so Yusuke is going to win. He has more than enough in terms of stats to keep up with Squidward. He literally just needs to buy his time, which he can definitely do given the Omnipotent all protecting him, items healing him just in case, stat buffing and stat lowering. While the Krabby Patty might help, that also doesn't answer to Yusuke buffing his own stats. Not to mention, he could just, freeze Squidward, trapping him 3,000 years in the future with Spongetron. A fate worse than death, arguably. So all in all, Yusuke is going to freeze Squidward solid, cut him down to size, and this fight will be easier than cleaning his brushes.
Alright then. So,
Yes, that is a line in the game.
I had a feeling it was. Right, ZDogg, you got 1 more minute.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All right. So, while I will give Yusuke having a better edge in experience and a lot of unpredictable status effects that he could appliance. Yeah, I guess that's right. Squidward, I think, just has the right amount of arsenal, like Captain Magma being able to counter Yusuke's persona. The clarinet just having a bunch of different effects that I'm not sure Yusuke would be ready for. What else? and just an ungodly amount of durability that like even with the omnipotent orb, I don't know if you'll find a way to actually take Squidward down. So I do think Squidward will rise up in this fight, and Yusuke will be met with a cruel fate.
All right, then.
Jesus.
Right then. So that is the time of people. So that was Yusuke versus Squidward. Both made some good arguments, but there can only be one winner, depending on what me and Sean choose. So I guess I'll go first. It's my turn
It's possible you guys could end up tying.
I was gonna say, what happens if there's a tie? Do we play for this?
It's up to the audience then.
Okay.
It'll be an audience vote.
I guess that's why I'm with Heracross there. So. Okay, yeah, go.
So to get my first thing out of the way, yeah, it's very clear with the life insurance thing and the omnipotent orb, both are basically untouchable. So my argument would be like, since we already know in that sort of debate it is pretty much like tied, my argument would actually be though, I actually think Yusuke has a better chance of removing Squidward's life insurance thing, or basically his win con, than Squidward has in removing Yusuke's. Now, obviously, let's just assume neither of them have that godlike immortality thing on them.
Fair enough, otherwise it just makes it an endless stalemate.
Yeah, so that bit, right. We'll say it's a tie. But in terms of combat, it's very clear Yusuke wins this. It doesn't matter if you're a cartoon character with Toon Force. If Squidward gets his ass handed 24/7 by opponents much stronger than him, and from the scale of the competition, Yusuke deals with people more powerful than what Squidward faces. But what Squidward might have in his arsenal, I think his super forms could give the persona a run for its money, especially with the clarinet. But Squidward's clarinet has backfired on him on multiple occasions. There was a whole episode where they had to get out of his throat because it got jammed in there too hard. Squidward has a habit of
I remember that.
And not only that, his clarinet has been disarmed on multiple occasions. Whereas Yusuke doesn't seem like he has issues with having his abilities or powers neglected or nerfed. Like, yeah, he can have his statuses changed, but given the fact that he also have weapons and abilities that cancel it out, it really does seem as though Squidward just does not have the means of like having a more sustainable or permanent solution to deal with Yusuke. Now, in terms of the durability, Squidward takes a lot of punishment, but he can be beaten to the point he needs to be in a hospital for a while. And it is possible for, SpongeBob characters to die. I mean, for God's sake, there's actually been times where Squidward has actually died. Hell, he nearly died to a spoon.
Oh god, don't introduce him to the tech.
Revenge of the spoon.
Or the doctor.
Or Mewtwo. Mewtwo.
God.
So yeah, that's my argument really. When they have the inoperative objects on them, they're both godlike. When you take that out of the equation though, Yusuke just seems to have everything going for him. Yes, the super forms could potentially deal with his persona, but as we've seen in previous Lads debates and death battles, personas or characters in Persona don't really need their personas to guarantee a win. They're just that extra effect. So
we talked about it on a previous Lads debate episode.
Yeah. So honestly, my verdict is Yusuke wins. So
I was not expecting that.
Me neither, honestly.
I gave it quite a bit of thought myself. And while theoretically speaking, Squidward could destroy Goemon because the Omnipotent Orb doesn't technically protect personas, we have seen characters be put under the silent status effect and they can still fight. Plus, personas just come back like moments later anyway, so Goemon wouldn't be out of the fight completely. And that's not even accounting Yusuke's evolved persona from Goemon, which is a lot more powerful. But I do have to give it... I agree with Bill. Surprising me, Yusuke wins.
Sorry, ZDogg, man.
Okay.
Wow, I was going into this expecting the opposite result.
Oh,
like Bill,
yeah,
you talked about, Yusuke's a lot more skilled with his combat abilities, and the customization you can do with all the rifles, like applying shock damage to paralyze him, just on the surface, or just some of the swords also applying different status effects, is just nuts.
Yeah, Squidward, I could make an argument is more durable, but Yusuke also being potentially faster. Like, yeah, unraveling the universe is cool and all. Persona characters seem like they face people like that on a daily basis. That only happened one time.
Also, in that
SpongeBob.
same episode, wasn't SpongeBob the only one left standing?
Patrick
Yeah.
was too.
Did that?
Yeah, Patrick was too, but I don't know.
Actually, no,
think
he then-
by-
No, Patrick
Yeah.
keeps pulling the string and erases SpongeBob.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say it's just fair to give it to him. Like, it's SpongeBob logic. Nothing's consistent.
Well, even
And when
then,
nothing's
yeah.
consistent,
you could
everything's
argue
consistent.
Yusuke's durability is a little bit better because of Alave combining both the metaverse and the actual universe. So, two universes are bigger than one.
Yeah. But ZDogg, you know what, man?
Yeah.
Sad that, it's unfortunate you couldn't score a win for the bros for this one. But you know what?
Ah, well.
You did win in
As long-
showmanship. We'll give you a point.
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
for sure.
Thank you. You know what? As long as I put up as long as I managed to give at least a good debate, and I had fun. I had fun time, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
And
I was going into
if I may,
Yusuke was going to win,
I also
but I was a bit surprised at how even it was.
I'll be honest. Also, I have these custom made before the episode
Oh.
came out. I'll be honest. Like
Nice.
when waiting for this episode, like I thought, like, oh yeah. I mean, I'll try. Like I think it's gonna be closer than they realize, but I actually do think Yusuke win. And then it was like yesterday. They're like, oh, Squidward might have a good chance, and then yeah.
When Purple
Oh
said,
well,
I mean, he does.
I had fun.
when Purple said that
Yeah.
Squidward should, when Yusuke should stomp this, I don't think he actually understands what a stomp is, because this is clearly not a stomp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's more
perception
going
of
on
character.
in this than I expected.
All right, then.
Exactly. I'm glad. And if I may, I actually have a pun, an ending pun that I thought of before this episode.
Go
no matter
ahead.
who won. So,
And
if I
then-
may.
Sure. And then we will announce the next time, and I need to hurry up and play Mario Party.
Nice. All right. Looks like Yusuke outfoxed the competition and had to put him to rest.
That was a good one.
Thank
But yeah,
you.
congratulations to your early mate scoring a win for your boy, and congratulations to ZDogg
Yeah.
for surprising me.
No, good. Good debate, mate. That was good.
Yeah, that was great.
But
Thank you. I'll
Now-
get him next time. That's cool.
now we've had an outlandish Lads Debate people, so let's go a bit more grounded, ish. So
Ooh,
I teased-
buddy, am I hyped?
I teased this to ZDogg. We are using a Sega
Yeah.
character.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to reveal too much, but we are having Kiryu from the Yakuza series, or Yukaza, however you pronounce it,
Yakuza.
versus
Like,
Tommy Angelo from the Mafia series.
oh,
That's right.
okay.
We are having the Italian gangsters versus the Japanese gangsters. Deadliest Warriors did it, and to be honest, it's perhaps their best episode. So it's like, you know what, lads? Let's do our own, but we're doing it with video games.
Video game
Well, their
logic.
logic
added.
hold
Therefore,
up.
superior.
Will their logic hold up, or has time changed the verdict?
Looks like you'll have to watch the next episode to find out. Oh my god.
But yep, so yeah, we're doing Yakuza versus the Mafia series, and I'm going to be interested in learning a lot about the Yakuza series, because I was actually quite surprised to learn this is a Sega game. I was like, okay, that's not what I expected.
I've heard it gets buck wild, so strap in, whoever's repping that. I'm guessing Sean. Yeah, okay.
I think it's pretty clear who's repping that. It's going to be a
Yeah.
Sean versus Billy episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Mafia series, and I was thinking doing Vito from since he's been in more games. But at the same time,
Hey,
it just makes sense to do the main characters of the debut games.
I'd say that's fair.
hey, so Bill,
Yeah,
you mentioned you teased that we were doing a Sega character.
yeah.
Yeah, we just had a Sega character.
Yeah, actually, hold on. Wait.
Technically, back-to-back Segas. You love to see it.
Wait, was that done by
yeah, no.
Sega? I thought that was done by.
Yeah.
Oh, what was? I'm trying to remember what the name of the company.
I think
was.
Sega publish it, don't they?
Right.
I
Okay.
believe so.
Okay. Well, I was talking
Yeah,
about
but
it's
Atlas are the
made
ones
by
who develop
Atlas.
it.
oh,
yeah.
right. I was talking about games that was made by Sega.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
well.
I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's under the Sega like umbrella.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
kind of like whatever. Anyway, video's gone on long enough. But yeah. So next time, Mafia versus the Yakuza, a video game version, and I'm looking forward to showing off just. Mostly just the fun that the Mafia series has brought me as a kid. I don't know why my parents would let me play these games. But with all that said and done, thank you to ZDogg for being a guest for this Lads Debate. Hopefully we can have you on for another one.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is a lot of fun, and again, hope I was able to put out a good enough debate here. So, thank
You for sure did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you really did. I was really going to like, alright, let's just get this over with. Yusuke wins. Okay, then evidently I'm going to think more about this than I realise.
Insert
What do you
the
folks think of the debate? Do you
Bill, I
agree
thought-
with the result?
I thought Bill was going to go into this thinking Squidward was going to win. That surprised
honestly
me.
same, but yeah.
I thought Squidward
I can't
was going
complain.
to win. Honestly.
Okay, wow.
Oh
Well.
Wow, the complete opposite. Anyway,
Exactly.
with all that said and done, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw here, be sure to share the video around, keep the channel growing, and hey, why not check out more content from ZDogg at the Brobuscast channel?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, Death Battle podcast and reactions on my own channel, and also I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm also gonna plug the daily Death Battle account I do on BlueSky, which I do with a few of my friends. Yeah, it's a daily idea for Death Battle. It's been going for about a year now. It's been really fun. Oh, and Sean, and apparently Sean did not think so.
Your shameless plug killed a lad's host. God damn it, ZDogg.
Oh my god, it was so shameless. Sean died.
Okay.
He's back. Oh my god, zombie!